When we speak of the Silk Road, our minds often conjure images of vast caravans, exotic goods, and distant lands. We might imagine camels laden with spices, shimmering silks, or precious jewels, traversing endless deserts and towering mountains. Yet, the Silk Road is far more than a mere historical route for commerce. It is, at its heart, a profound journey through time that intricately connects us to our shared human story. It's a magnificent tapestry woven from countless individual threads, each representing a life lived, a dream pursued, or a challenge overcome across millennia. This ancient network, stretching thousands of miles across continents, was not simply a pathway for commodities. It was a conduit for human experience, for the transfer of knowledge, belief, art, and the very essence of diverse cultures. In this exploration, we are not merely recounting dates or naming emperors. Our purpose is to delve deeper, to peel back the layers of dust and legend, to uncover the authentic personal experiences, struggles, and triumphs of those who walked this path centuries ago. Who were these intrepid individuals? What motivated a merchant to endure the scorching heat of the Taklamakan Desert, or the bone-chilling winds of the Pamir Mountains? What hopes did a scholar carry as they transported sacred texts across treacherous passes? What fears did a craftsman face, knowing their exquisite creations might travel thousands of miles before reaching their intended recipient? These were people of immense courage, resilience, and often quiet desperation. Their lives were defined by the arduous terrain, the promise of new discoveries, and the perpetual uncertainty that lay around every bend in the trail. They faced bandits, harsh weather, cultural misunderstandings, and the gnawing loneliness of extended separation from home and kin. They pressed on, driven by ambition, faith, curiosity, or simply the need to survive. Their stories are not confined to grand historical narratives. They resonate in the subtle echoes of human connection. They are the untold accounts of small kindnesses exchanged between strangers, of languages learned to bridge vast cultural divides, of ideas flowering into new philosophies, and of technology spreading to transform distant societies. It's about the families left behind, the bustling bazaars where strangers haggled and laughed, the quiet moments of reflection under a star-strewn desert sky. It's about the unique blend of fear and exhilaration that came with venturing into the unknown, carrying precious cargo and even more precious dreams. By exploring these human stories behind this ancient network together, we unlock a richer, more vibrant understanding of our past. We begin to see how the daring spirit of exploration, the universal desire for connection, and the fundamental human need for exchange shaped not just economies, but entire civilizations. The legacy of the Silk Road is not just in the objects traded, but in the enduring spirit of human endeavor that linked disparate worlds, proving that despite vast distances and cultural differences, humanity shares a common journey. It reminds us that our world today, with all its interconnectedness, owes a profound debt to the bold footsteps of those who first forged these vital pathways across continents. To truly comprehend the significance of the Silk Road, we must first understand its origins and the geopolitical landscape that fostered its emergence. The concept of the Silk Road is a modern one, coined by German geographer Ferdinand von Richthofen in the late 19th century. Yet the pathways it describes are ancient, predating the Common Era by centuries. Its story begins not as a single, well-defined highway, but as a complex, dynamic network of interconnected trade routes that linked the great civilizations of the East with those of the West. While silk was indeed one of its most prized commodities, giving the network its enduring name, it was merely one precious thread in a much larger, more intricate web of exchange. The formal inception of what we recognize as the Silk Road is often attributed to the Han Dynasty of China, specifically around the 2nd century BC. China, being the sole producer of the coveted silk, held a unique advantage. Emperor Wu, driven by a desire for military alliances against nomadic tribes to the north, dispatched his envoy, Zhang Qian, on perilous missions to the western regions. Zhang Qian's journeys, particularly his epic expeditions between 138 BCE and 126 BCE, opened formal diplomatic and trade relations with Central Asian kingdoms. Though his initial military objectives were only partially met, his reports back to the Han court revealed a wealth of new goods, cultures, and potential trading partners to the West, catalyzing the systematic establishment of trade routes beyond China's borders. These early paths, rudimentary as they were, laid the groundwork for what would become the vast Silk Road. The Silk Road was never a single, continuous road, but a fluid collection of routes, both overland and maritime, adapting to political shifts, technological advancements, and natural obstacles. The main overland routes typically started from Chang'an, modern Xi'an in China, extending westward through the Hexi Corridor, skirting the formidable Taklamakan Desert along its northern or southern edges, passing through bustling oasis cities like Dunhuang, Turpan, and Kashgar. From Kashgar, the routes branched, some heading over the perilous Pamir Mountains into Central Asia, connecting to cities like Samarkand and Bokhara, while others turned south towards India. Further west, they linked to Persia, the Levant, and eventually reached the Mediterranean coast, connecting to the Roman Empire and Europe via maritime routes. The challenges of these routes, the unforgiving deserts, the towering mountain passes, the vast steppes demanded extraordinary resilience from those who traversed them. The significance of the Silk Road for trade and cultural exchange is immeasurable. Economically, it facilitated the movement of luxury goods that were highly prized in distant lands. Silk from China, known as seers by the Romans, was perhaps the most famous, but also exported were ceramics, jade, lacquerware, and tea. In return, China received goods like horses from Central Asia, glass and wool from Rome, spices from India, precious metals, and exotic animals. Beyond these material exchanges, however, lay the far more profound transfer of ideas, technologies, and beliefs. Buddhism, originating in India, spread along the Silk Road into Central Asia and ultimately permeated Chinese culture, profoundly shaping its philosophy, art, and architecture. Scientific knowledge, including advancements in astronomy, medicine, and mathematics, traveled in both directions. Papermaking technology moved westward from China, fundamentally transforming communication and record-keeping in the Islamic world and eventually Europe. Artistic styles blended, resulting in unique syncretic forms visible in cave paintings and architecture along the route. The Silk Road was, in essence, the ancient world's superhighway of globalization, laying the foundational groundwork for centuries of intercontinental relations. It was a testament to humanity's innate drive to connect, to explore, and to exchange. Its origins, rooted in strategic political aims, quickly blossomed into a vibrant commercial and intellectual artery that shaped the destinies of empires and the daily lives of countless individuals, leaving an indelible mark on the civilizations that thrived along its winding, legendary paths. To characterize the Silk Road simply as a collection of trade routes would be to diminish its profound historical significance. While the exchange of material goods formed its economic backbone, its true legacy lies in its unparalleled role as a pathway for cultural diffusion and innovation, a vibrant conduit through which the very fabric of human civilization was rewoven across continents. It was the ancient world's most extensive artery of globalization, enabling an unprecedented intermingling of peoples, philosophies, technologies, and artistic expressions. This intricate network transcended geographical barriers, fostering a cross-pollination of ideas that catalyzed advancements and transformations in societies separated by thousands of miles. The movement of goods was merely the most visible manifestation of a deeper, more pervasive flow of knowledge and influence that continuously reshaped both East and West. The array of goods traded along the Silk Road was as diverse as the cultures it connected, each item telling a story of its origin and journey. Silk, undeniably the most famous commodity, was China's most prized export. Its luxurious texture, vibrant dyes, and intricate patterns made it a symbol of status and wealth across Asia, the Middle East, and Europe. Roman elites, for instance, coveted Chinese silk so intensely that its high price contributed significantly to the Roman Empire's gold outflow. Beyond silk, China also exported fine porcelain, known for its delicate beauty and superior craftsmanship. Lustrous jade, revered for its spiritual and aesthetic qualities. Lacquerware with its intricate designs. And eventually, tea, which would become a staple beverage across much of Asia. From the West and Central Asia, a different collection of treasures flowed eastward. Spices, particularly from India and Southeast Asia via the maritime Silk Road connections, such as cinnamon, pepper, and cloves, were indispensable for culinary purposes, medicine, and perfumes. Precious metals like gold and silver, along with valuable gemstones such as lapis lazuli and turquoise, moved in significant quantities. The finest horses from Fergana and other Central Asian steppes were highly sought after by Chinese emperors for military purposes. Other traded items included wool, glassware from the Roman Empire, perfumes, medicines, dyes, and a surprising array of exotic animals. For royal menageries, each transaction was a bridge, linking distant economies and fulfilling demands that spanned continents, driving innovation in production and transportation. The most transformative goods exchanged were often intangible, art and ideas. The Silk Road served as the primary conduit for the widespread diffusion of Buddhism from India into Central Asia, China, and eventually Korea and Japan. Monks and missionaries traveled alongside merchants, establishing monasteries and translating scriptures, profoundly shaping the religious and philosophical landscapes of vast regions. Similarly, Christianity, Nestorianism, and Islam later found their way eastward along these routes, leaving behind indelible marks on the cultural and architectural heritage of many Silk Road cities. Beyond religion, scientific knowledge flowed in both directions. Chinese innovations like paper-making, printing techniques, and gunpowder migrated westward, revolutionizing communication, warfare, and intellectual development in the Islamic world, and subsequently in Europe. In return, the East gained access to Hellenistic astronomy, Roman architecture, and Middle Eastern medical practices. Artistic styles blended seamlessly, creating unique syncretic forms. Persian motifs influenced Chinese pottery. Buddhist art in Central Asia adopted Hellenistic sculptural techniques, and Chinese silk patterns found their way into European tapestries. Musical instruments, such as the lute, traveled from Persia to China and became integral to new musical traditions. The very act of interaction fostered linguistic exchange, leading to the development of new loanwords and the evolution of shared vocabulary among the diverse peoples who inhabited or traversed the route. The Silk Road was not just a chain of markets, it was an incubator of cross-cultural innovation, where diverse perspectives converged to spark new discoveries and new ways of seeing the world. In its grandest scope, the role of the Silk Road in connecting East and West was unparalleled in antiquity. Before the age of maritime exploration, it was the primary artery through which the great civilizations of Eurasia engaged with one another on a sustained basis. It broke down geographical and cultural isolation, fostering a rudimentary form of global interconnectedness. Empires learned from each other's military strategies, administrative techniques, and agricultural practices. Diseases, too, traveled along its routes, inadvertently shaping demographics and societal structures. The exchange was rarely equal or balanced. Often, one region held a technological or cultural advantage that then disseminated. However, the consistent flow of people, goods, and ideas ensured that no major civilization along its path remained entirely insulated. It created a common pool of knowledge and a shared human experience that transcended political boundaries and ethnic differences. The Silk Road was the crucible in which East and West, though distinct, began to understand, influence, and ultimately shape each other, laying the groundwork for a more interconnected global future. It was a testament to humanity's inherent drive to explore, to trade, and to bridge the distances that separated disparate worlds. Along the myriad pathways of the Silk Road, amidst the relentless winds and shifting sands, lie the ghostly remnants of once thriving urban centers, ancient cities that flourished along its vital arteries, only to be slowly reclaimed by time and the elements. These are not merely ruins. They are silent testaments to human ambition, resilience, and the transient nature of power. Places like Samarkand, a legendary oasis city in present-day Uzbekistan, whose name alone conjures images of shimmering turquoise domes and bustling bazaars, stood as a pivotal crossroads where Persian, Indian, Chinese, and Central Asian cultures converged. Its Registan Square, with its magnificent madrasas, echoes the intellectual vibrancy and architectural splendor that once defined it as a center of learning and trade. For centuries, Samarkand was a beacon of civilization, a magnet for scholars, artisans, and merchants from every corner of the known world. A city whose very existence was predicated on its strategic position along the main trade routes. Further east, At the very edge of the vast Taklamakan Desert, and at a crucial junction where northern and southern Silk Road routes converged, lay Kashgar in modern-day Xinjiang, China. This ancient oasis city served as a critical gateway between Central Asia and China, a melting pot of ethnicities, languages, and religions. While much of its ancient fabric has evolved over time, its millennia-long history as a vital trading hub remains palpable. It was a city of caravanserais, where merchants found respite, fresh supplies, and new trading partners before embarking on the next arduous leg of their journey. Unlike many other Silk Road cities that fell into complete ruin, Kashgar persisted, adapting through centuries, its continued vibrancy, a living echo of its storied past. These cities, whether grand metropolises like Samarkand or strategic oases like Kashgar, were more than just points on a map. They were vibrant epicenters of cultural fusion, places where disparate worlds met, traded, and transformed each other, leaving behind architectural marvels and deep cultural legacies. From the shifting sands of these forgotten frontiers, archaeological discoveries have shed invaluable light on the lives and beliefs of the people who inhabited and traversed the Silk Road. These tangible fragments of the past offer profound insights that written records alone cannot provide. Excavations along the desert oases have unearthed remarkably preserved artifacts, protected by the arid climate. We find intricate textiles, often fragments of silk, wool, or cotton, dyed with vibrant colors, showcasing the sophisticated weaving techniques and artistic tastes of various cultures. Pottery shards reveal daily life, trade routes, and stylistic influences from distant lands. Perhaps most compelling are the coins unearthed in these forgotten cities, silent witnesses to complex economic exchanges. Roman denarii found in China, or Chinese cash coins discovered in Central Asia, provide concrete evidence of the extensive reach of the trade network. Each coin is a miniature historical document, telling a tale of long-distance commerce and interconnected economies. Beyond mundane objects, archaeological endeavors have brought to light extraordinary spiritual and artistic expressions. In the remote Buddhist cave temples along the northern Silk Road, such as those at Dunhuang or Kizil, vibrant frescoes and sculptures depict scenes from Buddhist lore, often featuring figures dressed in Persian or Central Asian attire, illustrating the profound cultural syncretism that occurred. These artistic fusions provide compelling visual evidence of how ideas and artistic styles traveled and merged. Furthermore, the discovery of ancient manuscripts and documents, often written on paper in multiple languages like Sogdian, Khotanese, and Chinese, has opened windows into administrative practices, commercial transactions, and personal correspondence, offering intimate glimpses into the daily lives, beliefs, and aspirations of the people who lived along the route. The remarkable preservation of bodies in the desert tombs of the Tarim Basin, such as the famous Tarim mummies, offers an even more direct, if unsettling, connection to these ancient inhabitants, providing insights into their physical characteristics, attire, and even diet. These archaeological treasures are not merely museum pieces. They are the tangible whispers of lives once lived, silent narratives waiting to be rediscovered and understood, revealing the forgotten human heart of the Silk Road. The vastness and perils of the Silk Road made the act of travel a monumental undertaking, yet thankfully, Many travelers and merchants meticulously documented their experiences, providing invaluable first-hand accounts that bring this ancient network vividly to life. These are the voices that pierce through the silence of centuries, offering glimpses into the realities, challenges, and wonders of life on the road. Among the most celebrated is Xuanzang, the intrepid 7th-century Buddhist monk who journeyed from China to India and back over 17 years, meticulously recording his observations on geography, cultures, and Buddhist philosophy. In his records of the Western regions, his detailed accounts provide an unparalleled snapshot of Central Asian kingdoms and Indian society during his time. Beyond grand pilgrimages, the mundane yet vital experiences of merchants were also recorded. Accounts found in documents from Dunhuang or the Geniza fragments reveal the complexities of ancient trade, the meticulous inventorying of goods, the calculations of profit and loss, the formation of partnerships, and the challenges of managing multi-ethnic teams. These documents illuminate the pragmatic realities of commerce, demonstrating the sophisticated financial and logistical networks that underpin the Silk Road. We also learn of the cultural encounters, the awe of those who first encountered the intricate artistry of Chinese silk, or the curiosity of Central Asians encountering new religious practices. These personal narratives, etched onto parchment, bamboo slips, or the very walls of ancient caves, transcend the dry facts of history. They allow us to walk alongside these ancient travelers, to feel the dust on their clothes, to hear the clamor of the markets, and to share in their triumphs and tribulations. They remind us that the Silk Road, at its core, was a deeply human endeavor, forged by the courage, curiosity, and collective experiences of countless individuals whose stories, though often hidden, continue to resonate across the millennia. Though the great caravans of antiquity no longer traverse its full length, the Silk Road is far from a relic confined solely to the annals of history. Its profound influence extends remarkably into the fabric of our modern world, manifesting in ways both overt and subtle. The legacy of this ancient network is not merely an academic concept. It is a living, breathing testament to interconnectedness, woven intricately into our languages, religions, cuisines, and art. Every time we encounter a word with a foreign root that traveled along these paths, every time we taste a spice introduced by its merchants, every time we admire an artistic motif that diffused across continents, we are experiencing the enduring echoes of the Silk Road. It laid down a cultural substratum that continues to shape diverse societies even today, centuries after its peak. Consider the transformative impact on languages. Words like sugar, caravan, bazaar, and orange entered European vocabularies through interactions along these routes, originating from Persian or Arabic, which themselves absorbed terms from further east. This linguistic exchange reflects the deep commercial and cultural intermingling. The spread of religions is perhaps one of the most profound and visible legacies. As previously noted, Buddhism journeyed from India through Central Asia into China, becoming a dominant spiritual force. Christianity, Nestorianism, Manichaeism, and later Islam also diffused along these routes, fundamentally altering the spiritual landscapes of regions far from their origins. The minarets of mosques now stand tall in cities like Samarkand and Bokhara, testaments to Islam's westward migration, while ancient Buddhist grottoes remain as silent witnesses to earlier spiritual tides. The influence on cuisine is equally pervasive. Many ingredients and culinary techniques that we take for granted today owe their global spread to the Silk Road. Noodles, a staple across Asia, are believed to have originated in China and found their way to the West, evolving into Italian pasta. Spices from the East, once rare and expensive luxuries, became indispensable, transforming palates and culinary traditions across Europe and the Middle East. Fruits like peaches, apricots, and oranges, and even techniques for distillation, traveled along these ancient pathways, enriching diets and gastronomic practices worldwide. In art and architecture, the fusion is striking. Persian and Central Asian motifs can be seen in Chinese textiles and ceramics, while Hellenistic and Indian artistic styles influenced Buddhist sculptures along the route. The vibrant tilework of Central Asian madrasas bears a lineage that traces back through Persian and ultimately Islamic artistic traditions, which themselves absorbed influences from diverse conquered lands. The enduring beauty of Chinese porcelain, a prime export, inspired European attempts to replicate its delicate brilliance for centuries. The Silk Road thus served as a grand laboratory for cultural synthesis, where aesthetic sensibilities and technical innovations cross-pollinated, enriching the global artistic patrimony. Beyond these concrete influences, the Silk Road continues to inspire travelers and artists today, drawing them to its legendary landscapes and the profound stories embedded within its ancient earth. For the modern traveler, retracing parts of the Silk Road offers a unique blend of adventure, cultural immersion, and historical introspection. It is a journey that transcends typical tourism, inviting participants to connect with a spirit of exploration that dates back millennia. From the bustling bazaars of Istanbul to the serene deserts of Xinjiang, travelers seek to experience the echoes of ancient caravans, to witness the breathtaking architectural wonders of Samarkand and Bukhara, and to engage with the vibrant, diverse cultures that still thrive along these historic routes. The allure lies not just in seeing ancient sites, but in feeling the immense scale of human endeavor that links civilizations. Artists, writers, and musicians also find endless inspiration in its rich tapestry of history and culture. Filmmakers tell new stories drawn from its legends. Composers weave melodies influenced by its diverse musical traditions. And contemporary painters capture the stark beauty of its landscapes and the vibrant spirit of its people. The Silk Road becomes a metaphor for connection, for cultural exchange, and for the enduring human spirit of discovery, providing a fertile ground for creative expression that bridges the past and the present. It reminds us that humanity's story is one of continuous movement, adaptation, and intermingling. Given this profound and pervasive influence, the importance of preserving the cultural heritage of the Silk Road cannot be overstated. Many of its ancient cities, archaeological sites, and intangible cultural practices face threats from modernization, environmental degradation, and sometimes neglect. International organizations like UNESCO, along with local governments and communities, are engaged in vital efforts to protect these sites. This preservation work encompasses not just the physical restoration of ancient monuments and caravanserais, but also the safeguarding of living traditions, the music, dance, crafts, and oral histories that were born from or nurtured by the Silk Road. It involves meticulously cataloging artifacts, digitally preserving ancient texts, and ensuring that future generations can learn from and appreciate this incredible legacy. Furthermore, preserving this heritage is crucial for fostering intercultural understanding in our contemporary world. The Silk Road stands as a powerful historical example of how diverse cultures can interact, exchange, and enrich one another, often peacefully, for mutual benefit. In an increasingly interconnected yet sometimes fragmented world, the lessons embedded in the Silk Road's history, lessons of tolerance, adaptability, and the value of exchange, are more relevant than ever. By safeguarding its remnants, we not only honor the countless lives that shaped it, but also preserve a testament to humanity's shared past and a guiding light for its shared future. In the 21st century, the ancient spirit of the Silk Road is undergoing a remarkable, complex, and multifaceted revival through new initiatives in trade and tourism. While the camel caravans have largely been replaced by cargo trains, colossal container ships, and freight aircraft, the fundamental human impulse to connect, trade, and exchange across vast distances remains as potent as ever. This modern resurgence is most prominently embodied by China's ambitious Belt and Road Initiative (BRI), a grand vision launched in 2013 that aims to build a vast network of infrastructure and trade routes connecting Asia, Africa, and Europe, echoing the ancient pathways, but on an unprecedented scale. This initiative includes both overland routes, the Silk Road Economic Belt, and maritime routes, the 21st Century Maritime Silk Road, striving to enhance connectivity, reduce trade costs, and foster economic growth across participating nations. It is a testament to the enduring allure and strategic importance of geographical links first forged millennia ago. This modern reawakening is evident in tangible developments. New railway lines, such as the China-Europe freight trains, are drastically cutting transit times for goods between continents, offering a faster alternative to sea freight for certain products. Upgraded highways facilitate overland transport, while new ports and logistical hubs are enhancing maritime connections. These infrastructural improvements are not merely about moving goods faster, they are about fostering deeper economic integration and creating new corridors of prosperity. Concurrently, the cultural heritage of the ancient Silk Road is experiencing a vibrant resurgence in tourism. Countries along the historical routes, particularly those in Central Asia like Uzbekistan, are heavily investing in preserving and promoting their Silk Road heritage sites. Revitalized ancient cities, restored caravanserais, and vibrant cultural festivals attract millions of visitors annually, offering immersive experiences that bridge history with contemporary life. This cultural tourism provides significant economic benefits to local communities, creating jobs and stimulating the preservation of traditional crafts, music, and cuisine, thereby transforming historical assets into drivers of sustainable development. However, the revival of the Silk Road in the modern era is not without its challenges and opportunities. On the one hand, the opportunities are immense. Increased connectivity can unlock economic potential in landlocked regions, foster industrial development, and create jobs. It can facilitate greater cultural exchange, encouraging mutual understanding and collaboration between diverse nations. The development of infrastructure can bring modern amenities and services to previously underserved areas. Furthermore, the emphasis on cross-border cooperation inherent in these initiatives can promote regional stability and diplomatic engagement. The renewed focus on the historical roots encourages a rediscovery of shared heritage, potentially strengthening ties among nations. Yet, significant challenges must be navigated with foresight and careful planning. Concerns have been raised regarding the debt sustainability for some recipient countries, where large-scale infrastructure loans could potentially lead to financial vulnerability. There are also critical considerations regarding environmental impact, as massive construction projects can lead to deforestation, habitat destruction, and increased carbon emissions if not meticulously managed with robust ecological safeguards. Geopolitical complexities also loom, with some nations viewing modern Silk Road initiatives as instruments of economic or political influence rather than purely collaborative ventures. Issues of transparency in project agreements, equitable labor practices, and the potential for increased cross-border security challenges also demand vigilant attention. Overcoming these hurdles requires not only significant financial investment, but also unwavering diplomatic efforts, a commitment to equitable partnerships, and the adoption of the highest environmental and social standards. As we reflect upon the enduring relevance of the Silk Road in our globalized world, it becomes clear that its story is far from over. Its future is not merely about trade routes, it is about the continued human aspiration for connection, prosperity, and cultural understanding. The ancient Silk Road teaches us that true progress is forged through interaction, through the exchange of not just goods, but also ideas, technologies, and beliefs. In an era marked by rapid technological advancement and complex global challenges, the lessons embedded in its historical tapestry, lessons of resilience, intercultural dialogue, and the mutual benefits of cooperation are more relevant than ever. The Silk Road, both as a historical phenomenon and a contemporary concept, serves as a powerful reminder that our world is inextricably linked. The future of global commerce, cultural exchange, and indeed, international relations will continue to be shaped by the same fundamental principles that allowed ancient civilizations to connect across vast distances. Our shared destiny relies on our ability to learn from these ancient paths, to overcome modern challenges with collaborative solutions, and to ensure that the spirit of open exchange and mutual respect, which characterize the best of the Silk Road, continues to guide our journey into an ever more interconnected future. The untold stories are still being written, and it is up to us to ensure they are tales of harmony, sustainability, and shared human progress.